Hey everybody, welcome to Wade's World on Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Wade Cleary with Century 21 Executive Team. And as the market has been shifting for the last several months now, most of the people that I've been working with have been asking me questions about where the market is going. I know a lot of times we look at historical data to kind of figure out where we've been and kind of use that as a map of some type to kind of figure out where we are going. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and show you some data from last year and see how that kind of had its effect on the buyers that were going through the marketplace last year, and see if that is any kind of key indicator of where we might be going and what to expect for 2023.
Okay, this is a graph of 2022's interest rates. Starting off in the beginning of the year, we were very low. We were around 3.25. And then by the end of 2022, we were up in the very high sixes, low sevens. One thing I want you to take away from this graph is obviously we had an upward trajectory that was just very steadily increasing. As the market started to actually respond to these higher interest rates, I'm going to show you in the next set of slides how actually that affected the price of homes and the days on market and our inventory. Okay, now this slide is for January 2022. These are all the stats that happened in January of last year. I'm going to go ahead and show you all of 2022 month by month, and I want you to just kind of pay attention to a couple of different sections. Mainly the sales price of the house, the number of months of inventory we had. Obviously, the lower this number is, the less amount of inventory there is to sell. And then the average days on market. So this is how long the house sat on market before it actually went under contract. So January, average sales price was $403,000. 1 month's worth of inventory, 22 days on market. Going into February, $414,000. 1 month, 22 days on market. March, $425,000. 1 month's worth of inventory, 19 days on market. As we get into the spring, you're going to start seeing, this is when most people start looking at houses and want to get things under contract so they can get settled in for the summer months so they can move. 443, going into 1 month's worth of inventory, 16 days on market. May, 452, 1 month's worth of inventory, 14 days on market. Now also remember, in the first slide I showed you with the graph of all the interest rates are starting to increase now. So I don't want to say panic buy, but I think people are starting to see that interest rates are going up, so they need to pull the trigger. Going into June, 459, 2 months worth of inventory and 14 days on market. Now this is where you're going to kind of see the pinnacle start to basically turn the different direction. Now we're going to 447, 2 months worth of inventory, 16 days on market. We get into August, they start dropping down a little bit to 433, 2 months worth of inventory, 20 days on market. And if you remember from that interest rate graph, we kind of had a little bit of a dip around September. So September, anything that went under contract back in August closed here. So we're at 429, 3 months worth of inventory and 25 days on market. Now we should see 30 days later, those September transactions happening in October. And that's where we are, October, 440, 3 months worth of inventory and 29 days on market. Now November, 428, 4 months of inventory, 34 days on market. And then December, as you can see, 428, 3 months of inventory and 41 days on market.
So what does this all mean? Obviously, there's a few things that I want you to take away from these slides. The first one being the year-over-year equity growth. We started off the year around $403,000 for the average sales price, ended up around 428, 429, giving us about a 7% year-over-year equity growth, which is where projections were expected. Now, what does that mean if you're a buyer moving into 2023? You have to keep that understanding of where equity growth is continuing to go as you sit on the sideline waiting for interest rates to go down. So you're kind of playing a little bit of a game here. I've been trying to explain to all of my buyers that there are different programs that you can take advantage of, such as seller concession buy downs that will kind of help you temporarily lower your interest rate. That'll kind of help offset your expenses. And then hopefully you can go ahead and refinance and then buy in a 30-year fixed at a lower rate when the interest rates do come down. So you kind of take advantage of the lower sales price of the houses now, and then when the interest rates go down, you take advantage of that new lower interest rate later. So what does this mean if you're a seller in 2023? Well, obviously pricing your house is critically important. Obviously there's a downward trend coming from July all the way down to December, where the house prices were kind of overinflated because of lower interest rates. And now that the interest rates are a little higher and we have more competition, the market is now kind of pulling houses a little bit lower. So it behooves me to explain all of the intricacies to my clients when they're getting ready to list the house so that they understand what their net proceeds are going to be moving forward. This is just kind of one of the things that I do for my clients when we're evaluating properties, giving them their options so that if it does make sense for them financially to move forward, they can. If they're not getting what they need, then they want to hold on to the house a little bit longer, maybe wait for some more equity growth, then they can basically list their house at a later date. If you yourself have any questions regarding selling or buying, please feel free to give me a shout. Until next Wednesday, have a great week.